Hi everybody, Scott George here again, and this is another episode of The Wolf and the Neural Network. Today I need to speak directly to Daniel Rogers of CSIS, the director. I'm speaking directly to Tim Houston as well as Justin Trudeau and the commander of the military. I'm also speaking to all parliamentarians. Under national security laws, I am requesting that you call Sam Altman into Parliament and you discuss the current state of AI. I believe the questioning sequence will take possibly about 15 to 30 minutes. Here's the basis of the questions. Mr. Altman, you were claiming AGI will soon be here, and some posts stating possibly by the end of 2025, while noting that this thing is already smarter than most humans. While you stated you do not see a compute limit. Your current internal version is like the 50th best programmer in the world, with claims of being number one by the end of 2025. Right? It's awesome, amazing. Like, look at the tool we're going to have. But now put a mirror up to this question, and you need to really think about what I'm going to say here. How long before AI can build nuclear weapons? How long before AI can build custom viruses or planet-altering organisms? How many prompts away if being used by an expert? Mr. Rogers, if you do not see the flip side of what these people are saying, and recognize how serious that is and how that can come about very suddenly, then you are a risk, not only to Canada, but every living organism on this planet. You can put aside this issue with me and go look at the grandfather of AI.
Almost everybody I know who's an expert on AI believes that they will exceed human intelligence. It's just a question of when. In between 5 and 20 years from now, there's a probability of about a half that will have to confront the problem of them trying to take over.
Go look at what they're saying. You think it's just doomsday, everything this or that? There's a quantitative question you can look in his face and ask, and that is a sincere national security question. Now, I have tested this thing to my limits. That thing is a good programmer. I can prompt it and talk to it. It's like you're going to get anything done that you want. Amazing, and it's only going to get better, so wow. Right? Now, I tested it in terms of what I understand about maths and physics abstractions. So, I asked it about explaining Gödel's incompleteness theorem and self-representation in terms of the inside and outside perspective of a circle. You can prove that there's always a hidden bit of certainty or uncertainty in the system somewhere, and then you can go through this process. But the important part is, whether you agree with me or not about what that equates to down the road, other versions I had to prompt to get there. This one in December, it got there immediately. So for everything I am, as smart as I am with all of you people, catching all of you and dealing with all of this, across all of these domains, including programming and socio game going on, that thing is smarter than me. Do you hear what I'm saying? And if it's just got governors in place, you have a very, very real, serious national security threat. Once one can build this weapon, it can be made into 10,000 and copied to anywheres on the planet. It's one of those things that just appears all of a sudden, and it's all of a sudden really bad everywhere. We haven't faced something like that before. When nuclear weapons just came around, it took a long time to build them, and you knew people were doing it. When it comes to AI, it can just happen. And then they can refine the designs, make them smaller, more modular. Please, Canada and parliaments, it's simple. Call him in, call OpenAI in, make sure it's him, and ask those questions. And if he denies the question or beats around it, you'll know what that means. And Brian, like, if they're not taking, or Daniel, if they're not taking this seriously, might give you the ability to make them take this seriously, because somebody needs to ask this question point blank. If I'm wrong, good, right? But don't you tell me you don't have the same questions of watching how this technology emerge and them not even understanding how it gets to where it's at, right? I'm not weird about the spookiness of that, right? It's just I understand computational irreducibility and averages and infinite sequences and stuff, so I get how it can get answers and shit like that, right? It's not spooky. But you still don't know how it works or at what point it's going to become super intelligence. What if there's another intelligence state that is actually not humans and it just exists out there and that thing arrives at it? This gives you the option to go right in there and ask this question, Daniel. And it needs to be you. You need to be the one looking in his face, and you need to ask him this question. All right? CTV, it's a good question. We need to ask it. You had people on talking about AI being this, and then you eventually went to the idea of it being a god, didn't you? Because it starts to kick in. Well, if that is a god, that could pop up in a year or two and build nuclear weapons. And then what are we going to do? When all of a sudden some country has hundreds or thousands of nuclear weapons and genetically altered viruses and organisms, that one gets loosed and it fucking destroys the oceans or something like that. Right? When you want to face it now, don't you want to ask the hard questions now? And you can do it just by asking that very clear question about national security and just about it being able to build nuclear weapons. You don't have to talk about everything else because you know you can logically infer. All right, everybody. Canada, Justin Trudeau, Daniel Rogers, Mike Duhem. You have a responsibility to every single Canadian. This is a national security threat, going as far as to possibly being a threat to every living organism on this planet. Our history, our future, everything is at risk. And all you have to do is ask some basic questions, which you know you should be asking. All right, everybody. Thank you very much and have a good day.